A very good evening. Thank you so much for joining us for Family Hour this evening. It is our great pleasure having you on Church of Uganda Family TV, and as usual, these shows are always broadcast live on our social media platforms, but also if it is not broadcast live, you can always catch up with the conversation on our Twitter, which is X at Church of Uganda Family TV, but also Instagram, Facebook, and all the other social media platforms. My name is Carol Tumine, and we are going to be discussing leadership and vision today. However, before I start off our show, I would like to thank you so much for being such a great audience and portray my thanks from the team at Church of Uganda Family TV. We do love you so much. Today's guest is a family member now, and of course we are always glad to have her. Her name is Dr. Patricia Achan Okiria, and she is the Deputy Inspector General of Government. After we've said hi to her, then we can get into the discussion of leadership and vision. You're most welcome, Doctor.
Thank you very much, Carol, and good evening, viewers. It's a pleasure to be here and to be part of this conversation this evening. May God bless you as you listen in.
Amen. Now, talking about leadership and vision, first of all, as a people of God, first of all, Church of Uganda, we believe in God. And the God way is the leadership way. God believes in leaders, which is why he which is why the Bible says that the anointing falls from the head to the helm of your garment and right to the other parts, because we believe in leadership. But what is leadership and what is vision anyway? Because that is our topic for today. And before I get into it, I would like to remind you that if you have any comment, please do not forget to go and comment on our social media platforms. We shall be getting you right loud and clear. Now let's start with the easy, the basics. What is vision? What is the background about vision? If you hear the word vision, what do you understand by it?
First of all, Carol, I think it's important for us to get to know what leadership is exactly. Because when you look at leadership and vision, they're like two integral components in successful management and even in organization development today. When we talk about leadership, leadership basically involves the ability to inspire, to motivate, and to guide individuals or teams towards a common goal. Now this takes us to vision. Vision refers to the long-term goals and aspirations that an organization or a leader seeks to achieve. Do you have a vision? And what is that vision? Because when we talk about vision here today, we're looking at the long-term goals and aspirations that a leader has for the organization, that a leader seeks to achieve in the long term. And a strong leader not only possesses the necessary skills to guide his teams, but a strong leader also has a clear vision that provides direction, that offers the purpose and strategic approaches in order to achieve those goals and lead us towards that vision. So great leaders usually have a vision, and they begin by thinking about the future, which gives the horizon and beyond for that organization. A good leader is able to plan for the future. A good leader is able to take the organization from the current status to something better and beyond. They foresee something special which is better out there for the organization, something that no eye has seen yet. They see what other lenses cannot see, and they anticipate. Sometimes we call it imagination, where someone sits and just anticipates that for me, going forward, I think we need to have this. They draw a picture and scope what the organization should be like. So it talks about creativity or even the natural sense of what could happen. So it's about creative thinking in the leaders. It is about being a forward thinker. Friends, are you able to be a forward thinker? You live today but think about tomorrow and years to come. The future may be vague and undefined, but visionaries normally look ahead in anticipation. So when we talk about leadership and vision, they are integral components of a successful management and organization development. That is why even Nehemiah had a vision for rebuilding the walls of Jerusalem. When he heard that the walls were in ruins, he straight away asked his supervisor, the king, to give him permission to go and rebuild the walls of Jerusalem. It was a burden in his heart. It became like a vision to see the walls properly rebuilt. Great leaders of the past have been visionaries. Others have even been conquerors. Just like you heard about Alexander the Great, or even Julius Caesar, and so many others. So, in order to be a visionary leader, we need to think ahead, we need to plan, we need to use lenses that others have not seen and forecast for the future and scope and draw that picture of the future.
Okay.
Yes.
Thank you so much, Doctor. Now, to talk about leadership, there must be subordinates somewhere that you're leading. And my question would be, how can we explain this vision to our subordinates to get it very well? Because most times we find that our bosses have the visions, our leaders have the vision. But us as subordinates, how can we understand our leader's vision? Or how can a leader explain that vision and make sure that it is well sunk in the heart of the subordinates or the people who are supposed to be led?
First of all, I would like to hope that our viewers out there realize the significance of vision thinking and its importance as well. Because when we have it in our hearts, then we must feel it deeply as well. A vision must be felt, first of all, deeply by the vision bearer. And the more strongly a visionary believes in a cause, then, or the mission, then he's able to even dream about it and likely to excite and involve others. So like you said, Carol, it's important to bring others on board, especially when you plan to implement it later on. Because as a vision bearer, you cannot be the sole implementer of everything. And it also calls for sacrifice. A vision bearer sometimes goes through sleepless nights, thinking deeply and thinking on strategies of how to share this vision out. A vision must be shared, but you have to also scope and see how to share. Will people buy it in, or people will just trash it out? So if left and acted upon, it only remains as a dream. If a leader can properly communicate his vision and cause other people to embrace it, it can become a powerful motivation force, especially when it is received positively, when it is welcomed. A leader's passion cannot just be a slogan on the walls or a dream on somebody's head. If that vision is to gain form, it has to be communicated, it has to be shared, it has to be spread out. So we need to take the flight or be useful, it must be passed to others. And sharing an exciting vision compels action. When the vision is exciting and people have bought in, then it compels passion and action and helps people to buy it in. Thirdly, a vision must also inspire. Is that vision able to inspire people? A visionary leader must strive to shake emotions in the listeners and inspire them with enthusiasm, belief and commitment, so that they get encouraged, so that they get shaken, so that it touches them as well like it has touched the leader. A leader's vision is even more powerful if he can convince others of its benefits. What are the benefits of this vision? A good leader must challenge people to surpass themselves, to stretch and reach beyond their full potential with ideas. I would like to make reference to Nehemiah.
Okay.
When he realized that there was a problem, he communicated it. The people bought in. He explained to them the danger of not implementing that vision. He said the walls of Jerusalem are in ruins. If we do not rebuild these walls, we are going to be open to the enemy's attacks. So it's important that we put our heads together and have these walls built. And he brought in many people with different skills and competencies, and they participated in the process of rebuilding the walls of Jerusalem. As a leader out there, what is it that you want to rebuild in those organizations, among the people you represent? A vision must also unify. It must bring people together. If a visionary is to be successful and has clearly set out direction and purpose for his followers, he will definitely generate loyalty among the followers and even unity and trust. If his leadership is in the context of a company, he will he will reflect on the unique strength, the cultures, the values of that company, the beliefs, and even the direction. And this idea will have a positive impact on that organization. So a vision must be repeatedly shared, because sometimes when we talk about it, people easily forget. So it must be repeatedly shared. A visionary doesn't forget his dreams. They are permanent in his brain. He must be able to repeat it. They keep him up at night. He thinks through it. He thinks on how to improve it. They drive him forward. But because these people don't own this vision in the same way he does, he needs to repeatedly share it and keep reminding people that it is very, very important, lest they forget what the vision is. Leaders must remind their teams often of their purpose, of their cause, of their mission. So if you're a vision bearer, you should be able to walk the talk. They should see you feeling that vision. They should see you walking in the direction of that vision, and they will buy it in. We should be able to prompt people to recall and remember the vision that is placed before them. Carol, I've been through organizations where the vision is written out and hung on the wall, where the objectives, the mission statement is clearly felt out.
Yeah.
But sometimes even when you ask staff and workers, they don't know it off cap, but they have had it hung on the wall for years and ages. So we should be able to prompt people to recall and remember that vision that is placed before them, that they're supposed to be implementing. Are you becoming convinced of the power of vision? It must become a great source of strength. Nehemiah brought people from all walks of life, including perfume makers, to contribute to the rebuilding of the walls of Jerusalem. Nehemiah was able to think through. He went out and examined the walls and saw where there are cracks, where there are leakages, where it had broken, where it was in ruins, where fire had burnt, and he then drew a plan. So a vision bearer must be able to have a plan, should be purposeful and intentional, especially when it comes to implementing that plan, should share it out, should cause people to buy in, cause people to be inspired, and then move in that direction. And I think in doing that, we'll be sharing that vision and pushing it forward positively.
Okay.
Yes.
Thank you so much. Still about features of a vision, but also how to bring about an extended vision, not only to end with you. My first question about that would be, how important is communication and organization and planning? As you were speaking about Nehemiah, I remember that we serve a God of order. God is very organized, and what do we learn from him? And of course, that's the question: how effective or how important is communication, organization, planning, and things of the sort that can help build the vision to reality?
Carol, you see, organizations normally have the strategic plan, they do their work plans and budgets. But within the strategic plan, that vision can be properly tucked in there. Nehemiah used his visionary thinking to inspire people to do what they had seen seemed to be impossible. But he was able to convince people and brought them on board. He communicated his vision to others. He called people, he shared the vision. He said, look, if we don't do this, the walls of Jerusalem are in ruins and we're in trouble. As leaders, we can communicate the vision differently and inspire others. A visionary leader must communicate his vision efficiently, effectively, and eloquently so that everybody understands it. A leader without a vision basically lacks direction. A leader who doesn't communicate his vision actually lacks followers. If I have a vision and I keep it in my heart, then how will people get to know that Patricia had a vision to take this institution to this direction? So a leader who doesn't communicate his vision basically lacks followers. Nehemiah came down from inspecting the walls and he instilled that vision in the hearts of the people who would call his followers. The people bought in, the people joined hands with him, and Carol, in 52 days, the work was done.
Wow.
He began by painting a picture of the necessity for the protection of Jerusalem. What necessity is it we have out there? Today we are faced with the challenge of fighting corruption. What do we paint the picture of this country to be if we continue with corruption? What strategies do we have to wipe away corruption? Carol, the future of this country, they say, is in the hands of the young people. They're the future leaders. So for me, as a visionary leader, I think we need to work hard at doing the mindset change of promoting values of accountability, transparency, anti-corruption, ethical values. Do we have social responsibility among the young people? How can young people contribute in the war against corruption? How can we drive this mindset change and make everybody buy into it? How can we change attitudes and behaviors in government institutes, departments, and agencies? What about the ordinary Ugandan? Can he also contribute in this process of mindset change? So Nehemiah painted a picture of the necessity for protection of Jerusalem. Are we able to paint a picture for a corrupt-free Uganda today? So I think as visionary leaders, we need to think about transforming our country by implementing the values, the national values, and inculcating these values into the young people so that we have a holistic approach towards mindset change. Nehemiah gave people hope for a better future. And when we do that, we will be giving people hope, the citizens of Uganda hope for a better future. He strengthened the people. As leaders, are we able to strengthen the people and instill confidence in them? Citizens in the country today are in lamentation. Twagala government tuyambe. Oh, the taxes have gone up. This has gone bad. We are not able to do this. The drainages are blocked and so on. But what is it that we can do as citizens to improve the situation around us? Can we encourage the people to come out and participate? Nehemiah also delegated tasks. Today we have leaders who do not want to delegate tasks. Are we able to delegate some of our responsibilities for other people to implement? Because we cannot be everywhere all the time or at the same time. He managed and he gave direction. He gave direction and he gave instructions, and people were able to implement. Are we able to give instructions that can be implementable as leaders? Nehemiah also planned. Wise leaders planned. They always plan. That's the reason why we have the strategic plans, the institutional work plans and budgets, and so on. He planned as a wise leader, and he consolidated it in his present and his plan. He also planned for the future. So as leaders, we need to plan ahead, look at the situation, assess it, and be able to plan for the future. And when we do that, we'll be able to go a long way in improving the state of affairs. Yes.
Thank you. Before we go for a short break, I'll ask maybe one more question, and that is, who are the stakeholders in this fight of bringing up able leaders, of bringing up visionary leaders, and what is your appeal to those stakeholders? Because like you said, we have a young generation that is the eyes of the future. Everyone is hoping for them to be our future leaders.
Yes.
Who are the stakeholders in grooming this particular group of people?
When it comes to grooming this particular group of people, I think all of us who are leaders in positions of responsibility have that responsibility of mentorship, of coaching, of being exemplary, of grooming and training young people who can take on the mantle. If we all wake up and embrace this and be able to mentor, groom, encourage, coach, train, give talks to young people, I think will cause mindset change. So every leader out there, big or small or medium, we all have that responsibility. We have that burden on our shoulders. We do not just hold these positions for nothing. But like in the Bible, Esther was told by Mordecai that you're holding this position for a time such as this, for a purpose. So what is that purpose? And that purpose, I see it, is for transforming the youth positively, so that we can all contribute to the national development of this country with that mindset change, with a generation or a crop of young leaders who are patriotic, who are thinking about social responsibility, who are thinking about shouldering the national values and implementing them in different spaces where they belong. Yes.
Okay, thank you. Maybe let's end with the role of the schools in this fight, since we're talking about the young generation. Our children, most of them, spend like 80% of their time with teachers at school. So what would be the roles of schools in implementing these leadership skills in them, and making them people who have visions, or training them to, to be people with vision?
We have a number of approaches and strategies we can use there, because one, we have got the integrity clubs in the schools.
Yes.
But I think this needs to be stretched beyond integrity clubs. We need to think about including the values in the school curriculum. In the school curriculum. I remember when these values were launched way back in 2013 by the Directorate for Ethics and Integrity. It was proposed and recommended strongly that these values should be embedded in the school curriculum, so that our children get to learn from school. If the teachers can organize themselves and train the children, it will be a very, very good approach. But I also know of integrity clubs that are alive in schools, even at the grassroots, even far as Nebi. In Nebi, I have someone who is very, very active in one of the schools, and his integrity club is meeting every month, and they're discussing nothing but values and the role of the young people in the implementation of values and walking the talk. Actually, Carol, I intend to plan to travel to Nebi.
Okay.
Just to inspire and motivate those students more, and take them the copies of the national values, because I see them doing a great job, and I'm seeing responsibility. The compound of the school is clean. Well, they have a talking compound, but now they have respect for humanity and the environment. And the compound speaks for itself. We see it in them. We see responsible, respectable students out there. And in this school, it's way back in Nebi. It's like going to be one of my pilots, saying, if this can be done by this school in Nebi, I think it can be like best practice for others. That means the teachers can take on that responsibility and begin inculcating values. You can even say that in every time we are having assembly in the school, we can have 10 minutes or so just to talk about values.
Okay.
Yes.
Wow. That is wonderful. Okay, thank you so much, Dr. Patricia. We are still here on Family Hour. My name is Carol, and we will be back after this short break to continue the conversation. Stay with us.